Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we take a look at the 1999 Lotus Motorsport Elise. This is the final Elise and the final Lotus to take on the course, and this one is a bit of a legend in later Gran Turismo games. Admittedly, in GT2 you probably forgot this car existed because it really doesn't show up much at all. It's hidden at the back of the Lotus dealer and it's obviously overshadowed by the Elise GT1. From GT3 onwards, however, this car would gain a little bit of a reputation. If you saw this in a low horsepower event, this would easily be your toughest competition. It has very low horsepower, it has very low weight, and it also is an absolute tyre whisperer. So this car was... I remember dealing with this in the British GT races on Gran Turismo 3, and this was easily the worst car to deal with because it just wouldn't pit the entire race. So you either had to use one or lose to one. But yeah, in this game, it's a little bit forgotten about, which is a shame. I think it actually looks cooler in this game. You only get it in British Racing Green as opposed to the mad colours it came in the later games. But I think the front aero, the sort of roof scoop and stuff, I think it looks slightly less aggressive in the later games. It might just be the fact this one has covered headlights and the one in the later games does not. But yeah, I think it looks very cool. Unfortunately, it is a Lotus Elise, and Lotus Elises in this game have gone not well. The quickest one currently sits in 440th place, again not counting the Elise GT1. If I mention the quickest Elise during this video, I'm not talking about the Elise GT1, that is a completely different vehicle and it's well above the rest of them. The Motorsport Elise does have an advantage over the previous Elises, and that's that it has 333 horsepower, which is about 60 horsepower over what the most powerful Elise, the Sport 190, had. Now, with that being said, power wasn't really the biggest issue with the Elise. The biggest issue with the Elise is it weighed nothing, had horrible understeer, and didn't like the grass, and I can imagine this will have all of those traits. So yeah, don't expect this to be a leaderboard killer, but we'll see. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive, 333 horsepower, 644 kilos. Admittedly, that power-to-weight ratio is excellent in this game. To find out how the Lotus Motorsport Elise, and yes, this car does have the name of this track in its name, which hopefully will count to something, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports land track in order to see how quick it can be. The quickest car we've had is the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak version. That car's at a time of 25.696. This one is unlikely to beat that. First gear seems fairly useless, to be honest, although this gearbox is very long. It's only a 5-speed. I thought this would have a little bit more. Maybe this doesn't have a racing gearbox as standard. I could sort of sworn it might have done. It does have the very cool GT car engine noise. Ooh, okay. Yep, doesn't like the grass. It does have the GT car engine noise that you see from the likes of the Toyota GT1. I think the R390 might also have this engine noise as well, but the GT1 is the one I remember. XJ220 as well. Similar sort of engine note. Very cool engine note. Again though, having a cool engine note isn't really indicative of having a quick lap time, and we'll be able to sort of assess how good or bad this is when we can put a lap together. So far, it is very Elise to drive. Doesn't like the grass. Oh god, that understeer through there. It's just an understeer machine. That's the... Oh god. It is so bad. The turning on this is dreadful. 31.761. That actually is quicker than quite a lot of the Elises, and that was not a very good lap time. You really have to adjust your driving style to a car like this because it is just understeer city. I'm amazed I managed to grip on through there. I thought I was going to lose it. It's like this, you have to take such a wide angle into this corner just to get it turned in. 31.263. I mean, that does make it the quickest Elise, but god, it's just so tricky to drive over the dirt. And I will say, considering this is 333 horsepower, 640 odd kilos, it feels very slow. You know, it feels a lot slower than, I mean, that Mirage Asti we had last time out had 100 horsepower on this, weighed 300 kilos more. And that felt a little bit more rapid than this does. Admittedly, I don't think it was. But, yeah. It is not a very quick car, this. Which is a shame. Again, I should sort of state the obvious that over a standard sort of racetrack, it's just understeer. I mean, look at this. That's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable how badly understeer it is. Yeah, for a normal racetrack, this is probably fine, but around here, it's rubbish. It's absolutely dog water. It really is not a pleasant car to drive. It's not a particularly quick car to drive. It is a good looking car. And again, it is 0.2 up on the quickest Elise now. But, yeah. God, looking at that as well, there's not much time to come out of that. I really don't think there is either. If you absolutely optimize your driving style for this, I don't think you'd get much more out of it in terms of out-and-out speed. It's just not a very good car to drive, unfortunately. Which is a shame. And again, this is easily the quickest of the Elises. I mean, the Sport 190 was almost exactly 0.2 off of this. Standard Elise, 0.3 down on this, and then the other ones are sort of well down there. So, yeah, just not a good car, really. It does have to be said. A 31.263 will place this into 417th place. Goes in between the Nissan Silvia Qs and a naturally aspirated Supra. It is quicker than Toyota Stora, Toyota Supra, Celica GT4 ST165, which again sounds great. I mean, it's quicker than an RX-7 Touring X, but it's slower than a Mercedes A-Class, which puts it more into perspective of how bad this is. It's slower than a Dodge Stratus Vauxhall Vectra. It actually isn't that much slower than DB7 Volante, but shut up. It's just not a good car to drive, really. If I'm being honest, it's not that great, as most Elises are, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it works. At least the Esprits were pretty good, and the Europa was good, and the Elise GT1 was good as well. So, basically, as long as you don't buy an Elise, you'll have a good Lotus time in this game. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be doing something completely different. Until then, farewell.